Promotional consideration for the Best of Road Trippin' is provided by South Florida Chevy Dealers, Geico West Palm Beach, Charlotte Harbor Visitor and Convention Bureau, DeSoto County Economic and Tourism Development, O Palm Beach, Florida Keys and Key West Tourism Council, Northwood Village Merchants Association, Sebastian River Area Chamber of Commerce, The Breakers Palm Beach, and Visit Tampa Bay. We live where people vacation. Hidden between our beaches and byways are little pieces of paradise. Places to play, to have fun, eat, drink, and celebrate our good fortune. We're hitting the road on an adventure in our own backyard to show you where you can have the most fun under the sun. From beautiful West Palm Beach, CBS 12 presents Road Trippin' with John Matthews, brought to you by your South Florida Chevy Dealers and Geico West Palm Beach.
And hello, I'm John Matthews, and welcome to the Best of Road Trippin' for the summer of 2015. This year, we drove all around Florida, getting to know a lot of nice people, had some great fun, tasted some amazing food, and stayed in some really beautiful places. We're going to take you to some of those best places for fun under the sun right now. Our first trip, we're going to new heights. We're going to take one small drive and one giant leap. Buckle up, grab a parachute, and hang on for some real Florida fun. We're going to go skydiving in Sebastian. It's a short trip on I-95.
We go up to 13,500 feet, so it's a little bit above 2.5 miles up above the Sebastian Inlet and the Atlantic coast. So the views up there are absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking. People travel from all over the world just to see those views. It's approximately 60 seconds of free fall and then about a 5 to 7 minute canopy flight. There are different ways to experience it. So there's the tandem skydive where they can come up without any worries and be attached to one of the highly experienced qualified professionals. Or they can go through the student program and learn how to skydive. And it takes a minimum of 8 jumps in order to get through that student progression. We do have a lot of people that have been through that progression that come up just for fun and events and to join together to go up and have fun together. We do night jumps and beach jumps, so we offer a large array of specialty jumps as well. The beach along the Florida coast is just long, so it's easy to line up, and then you have the large length to land on in the sand, so it's pretty easy.
And I'm told that once you try skydiving, you'll want to do it again and again. But I'm going to take their word for it. And if jumping out of a plane doesn't spook you, this next trip is sure to scare you. We're going hunting, ghost hunting. It's a scary trip through one of South Florida's most picturesque communities, Sloan's Key West Ghost Hunt. It's a must-see. This is a road trip on the overseas highway to our most southern city.
We start off here at Kelly's Caribbean Restaurant. Everybody checks in. Well, one of the great things about the ghost hunt, you get the haunted history. It's a great way to become acquainted with Key West. Some amazing stuff happen where the entire group has a sighting several times a month. Individuals have things happen every night. And the one thing that makes a ghost hunt different than a ghost tour, we include all of the equipment people see on TV. We have laser thermometers so we can watch for the drops in temperature. We have K2 meters which pick up the different electromagnetic fields. And we have the dowsing rods, normally used to look for water. They're great for identifying where the spirits are. And we stop at about 8 to 10 different haunted locations, so there's a great history involved too. You get the history, you get the ghosts, and you get the equipment. I mean, how many people watch the Ghost Hunter show and say, oh wow, I wish I could do that? And now they can.
Those guided tours are, of course, at night because that's when the real scary people come out, the spooks. All right, after those two hair-raising experiences, it's time for some family fun. Our next trip has a little something for Mom, a bigger something for Dad, and a lot of fun for the kids. We're headed to the O Palm Beach Resort. And did I forget to mention the basement? Let's head south on I-95 to Manalapan.
We are in Aquanuts, which is actually our refurbished basement of the O Palm Beach Resort and Spa. And I like to say it's the coolest thing someone could have done to a basement. They decked out the whole place just for kids to have their own space to go to in a resort. It's the biggest space in any resort I've ever been to for the kids to play in. We have a stage, we have a DJ booth, we have tons of video games, any kinds of arts and crafts you can think of, full access to the pool, full access to the beach. When you walk in, if you look around, you'll notice we're underwater. We have an underwater cave that has a rock climbing wall in it. It's also a chalkboard wall, so the kids can draw all over it if they'd like. We also have a pirate ship sunken in the middle of our space, and we have a stage where kids can dress up as mermaids, as princesses, as anything, and it's also a drop-down movie theater. We have art camp, we have surf camp, we have tennis camp. We go to the beach every day. We have so much to do for all of the kids.
That was fun. While the kids are having the time of their life, Mom can visit the spa and Dad can enjoy a nice cold beverage out on the patio right on the ocean. Lions, tigers, bears, and giant tortoises. Oh, goodness. We're going on a safari in our great home state. You can see nearly 1,300 animals in one road trip. Tampa's Lowry Park Zoo. It has 63 acres of animals and attractions. So we're headed across the state to Florida's West Coast.
We're in Wallaroo Station. This is a 4.5-acre children's zoo here at Tampa's Lowry Park Zoo. It is an Australian-themed area, so it's a lot of fun for families. We have both animals of Australia, and then we have things and areas in here that are named after places in Australia. We're going to do a couple of our animal encounters that we have here at the zoo. We're going to go feed some lorikeets.
Let's not fight. Other cup. The things I do for road tripping. Oh, oh, oh.
These are Aldabra tortoises. They're the second largest tortoises in the world.
So they're not spooked by us being in here?
No, these guys actually love interaction.
They do, okay.
So they love being scratched on the neck. That's when they'll stop.
That's the trick, huh?
Hell yeah.
Scratch them on the neck. What do they eat?
Oh, these guys eat leaves and grass. They get a lot of hay. In the wild, they'll eat all sorts of browse, whatever they can find. If it's green, they'll probably try and eat it.
All those turtles are massive. They're wonderful, too. They're really sweet animals.
Revealing ancient secrets. Up next, a river experience through a historic slice of old Florida. Natural beauty with just a touch of bizarre. A one-of-a-kind outdoor adventure in the Keys. And not the Loch Ness Monster, but there are some interesting creatures stirring just below the surface in Charlotte Bay. Before you head out, head online. Get Road Trippin' 24/7 at CBS12.com.
Welcome back. One of the things that makes our state so great is, of course, our water. And so for our next adventure, we're going under the sea. Our next stop is an ecological adventure. Check waiting tour. It lets you discover the little tiny creatures that make up a large part of our natural environment. It's about a 3-hour road trip to Charlotte Harbor over in Englewood.
This is Lemon Bay. Charlotte Harbor Environmental Center tries to get people out into the greater Charlotte Harbor area, and we've been doing this since 1987. We focus on mainly the estuaries and teaching people about the nature and the ecosystems and the environment.
What a big, exciting group you guys have here.
Yes, they sure love coming out and seeing what's out here.
How many things can they find usually in a normal day and they put in their bucket?
They get to catch a little bit of everything.
The seagrass is the important feature there, isn't it?
If you were down there in the seagrass snorkeling, you wouldn't even see it. The seagrass beds are right there.
How do the kids flush it out of the...
They have little nets that they use to catch them with.
It's whatever you can scoop up.
Coincidence, yes.
Yeah, you're not going to find it crawling across the top there.
No. Kids sure love coming out here and catching things firsthand and seeing what's out there and what's in their backyard.
And you don't even have to bring your own net or even one of those little microscopes to see the little creatures under the water. The Charlotte Harbor Environmental Center, it'll provide everything that you need.
Off the beaten path? You bet. Next, exploring a beautiful park with a small side of strange. Now that's a lot of gators. Checking out a whole bunch of these big old green guys in Punta Gorda. And ancient secrets are revealed. Up the river with a paddle through a historic waterway.
Welcome back. It's time for a hands-on history lesson for you. Our next trip is perfect for the entire family. It's one part education, another part outdoor adventure, and a whole lot of fun. So we're headed to Windley Key Fossil Reef Geological State Park. That's a mouthful, but a short ride to Florida's Upper Keys.
we're kind of unusual for a Keys park. We don't have water access or beach access, but we have these beautiful walking trails through a hardwood hammock, and really the quarry walls is what we're most famous for. So one, get the kids out of the car, get to walk, and kind of get away from that beach scene, kind of get under some shade through the hardwood hammock. So it really makes a really pleasant afternoon, if you will, in the Florida Keys. Something very unusual, and just getting along the quarry walls is hard to do these days. In any active quarries, you're not allowed to do it. So this is really one of the few only outcroppings of this Key Largo limestone that you can actually get up close and put your hands on.
I think one other thing that is interesting is you have kind of a museum headquarters when you first walk in here.
Right, it's a beautiful visitor center they have here. It's just a great educational center all on its own, much less the hiking trails and the quarries themselves.
And that park is full of activities, and you can stay the night too. So we're going to stay outdoors for our next adventure. We're going to go do a little ranching Florida style. The Babcock Ranch has been part of Southwest Florida landscape for more than a decade now, and this is one place where you can get up close and really see a lot of alligators. Babcock Wilderness Adventures is in Punta Gorda, and a 2-hour drive west of the Big Lake. Take a look at Buddy, the 2.5-year-old baby alligator who's going to grow very large. And Cheryl knows all about that, don't you? You're director of the tours around here. How many alligators do you have out here?
Probably thousands.
Yeah, right. You get a lot of people here, kids, groups. They all take a bus, is that what I'm told?
Yeah, we have an old converted school bus, no windows, no doors, and we travel through quite a few acres to see the different ecosystems out here. Lots of wildlife. We always have something. You're guaranteed to see gators at the ranch. And we've been doing tours now for well over 35 years. But this is one of my favorite spots. It's peaceful, quiet, and like I say, gators, birds everywhere. Oh, got one right here looking at us. He says, "Hi, guys."
You're not allowed to feed alligators, are you?
Oh, no, it is illegal to feed alligators. People ask me quite often if we feed the ones here to keep them here, and no, it's illegal for us, too. And as long as they're not being fed, they're going to be more afraid of us than we are of them, so don't want to ever feed the gators.
And she's right there, lots of them. It was a pretty cool day. Are you ready for something more relaxing? How about a leisurely stroll down a quaint little avenue? Our next stop on our road trip, we're going to drink a little vino and watch artists in a colorful battle. We're driving just a few blocks into Northwood Village. So every last Friday of the month, something special goes on outside and around here in Northwood Village. What is it?
It's called the Art and Wine Promenade.
Yes.
And it's where the restaurants stay open, the businesses, the shops are open. There's vendors on the street as well, from jewelry, art, live music, wine, and sometimes they close off the street, sometimes it's open to traffic, but it's a good thing.
Great event, all about art, all about tasting wine and checking out all the cool, funky shops around here. In the last couple months, I've been hosting Art Battle, which is just a component of Art and Wine Promenade. But I've been hosting that and bringing in some of my artist friends, some that I know, some that I don't, to actually battle live against each other right there at Art and Wine Promenade. So over the course of those 3 hours, you see live art happening on 5 different large-scale canvases. And then the attendees of Art and Wine Promenade vote for their favorite, and that artist wins, cachet, wins gigantic prizes.
Lots of fun. The shops and dining are a perfect way to get away while staying right close to home, too. And speaking of eating, let's set the table for an enjoyable meal. This area is known for its restaurants, but there's one place you probably don't even think of often, the Breakers Hotel. It has 8 distinct dining experiences, and they all have one thing in common. They are all good. Pack your appetite. We're headed out to Palm Beach Island.
When you first come into HMF, one of the first things you'll notice is that you're transformed back into a Palm Beach cocktail party from the 1950s. All of the staff in here have a wardrobe, not a uniform. It's all custom tailored dresses that are in that Marilyn Monroe kind of era. We started to think about what this room was back in the heyday, and this was the heart of Palm Beach. And back in the 50s, this was where everything happened. So the overall inspiration for our cocktails, in addition to have a Grand Award wine list, was to bring back those classic cocktails that people don't see every day, but are really wonderful. The music's wonderful, the libations are great, and the food is incredible. We're blessed at the Breakers to have 8 different restaurants, and at nighttime you can come to any of them. They're all open to the public. The Circle Dining Room, which is adjacent to us on the water, is a gorgeous room overlooking the ocean where our guests come in for a full buffet. And our Sunday brunch is also in this area, which is one of the top brunches in the country. We have Asian, Italian, seafood, steakhouse. We have all kinds of venues here for every type of palate.
And it's all over to the public. While you're at the Breakers, enjoy a round of golf or some time at their luxurious spa, too.
The search is on. Next, heading upriver while uncovering ancient clues in DeSoto County. And getting there is half the fun. Taking you behind the wheel in CBS 12's Road Trippin' Truck.
The best of our Road Trippin' show wouldn't be complete if we didn't share some of the glory with our trusted transportation, the Road Trippin' Chevy Silverado. This show has taken us from one end of the state to the other, and we drove through rain and sandy beaches and, of course, sunshine. And to help us do that, the South Florida Chevy dealers provided us with the powerful but economical Silverado. This one has a 4-wheel drive and a brawny tow package. And we, of course, gave it a little road tripping flair of our own, too. It's a comfortable drive with a powerful, efficient V8, connecting advanced technology with dependable craftsmanship. If you'd like to learn more about the Chevy Silverado, visit your nearest South Florida Chevy dealership and check them out. We're going to keep this one, though, so we can bring you more road tripping stories. All right, we have one last road trip for you, but this one, we're going off the road. We're going up a creek, but we're bringing paddles. The Canoe Outpost lets you enjoy the peace and tranquility of one of Florida's most beautiful rivers. Buckle up for a short drive west to DeSoto County.
Canoe Outpost started in 1969 with Tex and Donna Stout. My dad and Tex paddled the river, and that's how Tex decided what trips he wanted to do, and that's how we decided to build here.
Now, the Peace River, a lot of people know about, but don't know much about it. So Real quick, where does it start? Where does it end?
Starts in Green Swamp, ends in Charlotte Harbor, in Polk County, north of I-4.
And that's sort of like west of Disney World.
Yes.
And is it fresh or salt?
Fresh.
Okay, what do people like about the Peace River? Because they keep finding stuff here.
Fossil hunting.
Fossil hunting.
Fossil hunting.
Like, show me some of the fossils you've been hunting. Ooh.
This is what the megalodon.
Giant shark.
Giant shark, 45 feet. There are all kinds of historic animals were at this river. Florida's underwater twice. That's why we have a mix of the shark and the land animals.
I'm thinking that the biggest attraction here is not the canoes. It's not the giant shark tooth. It's the...
Peace and quiet.
And you can see why they named it the Peace River. It is peaceful and beautiful. And that's it for this edition of the Best of Road Trippin' 2015. Look for us on the road and on CBS 12 News. We'll be traveling to more destinations soon. And remember to visit us on our website, cbs12.com/roadtrippin'. All of these destination videos and many more are just a click away. Plus all the information you need to plan your own road trip. I'm John Matthews. Drive safely. We'll see you on the road. And thanks for watching.
Promotional consideration for the Best of Road Trippin' is provided by South Florida Chevy Dealers, Geico West Palm Beach, Charlotte Harbor Visitor and Convention Bureau, DeSoto County Economic and Tourism Development, O Palm Beach, Florida Keys and Key West Tourism Council, Northwood Village Merchants Association, Sebastian River Area Chamber of Commerce, The Breakers Palm Beach, and Visit Tampa Bay. Promotional consideration for the Best of Road Trippin' is provided by South Florida Chevy Dealers, Geico West Palm Beach, Charlotte Harbor Visitor and Convention Bureau, DeSoto County Economic and Tourism Development, O Palm Beach, Florida Keys and Key West Tourism Council, Northwood Village Merchants Association, Sebastian River Area Chamber of Commerce, The Breakers Palm Beach, and Visit Tampa Bay. We live where people vacation. Hidden between our beaches and byways are little pieces of paradise. Places to play, to have fun, eat, drink, and celebrate our good fortune. We're hitting the road on an adventure in our own backyard to show you where you can have the most fun under the sun. From beautiful West Palm Beach, CBS 12 presents Road Trippin' with John Matthews, brought to you by your South Florida Chevy Dealers and Geico West Palm Beach.
Hello, I'm John Matthews, and welcome to the Best of Road Trippin' for the summer of 2015. This year, we drove all around Florida, getting to know a lot of very nice people, had some great fun, tasted amazing food, and stayed in some really beautiful places. We're going to take you to some of those best places for fun under the sun right now. We begin our journey by heading south. Do you ever feel the need for speed? We've got just the place for you. This hidden gem is not for the faint at heart either. You'll be pulled in several different directions while flying across the water. Hang on, we're going for a ride at Keys Cable Park. Put your seatbelt on. It's a trip south to the city of Marathon.
Cable parks are kind of like a rapidly growing phenomenon in the United States, and cable wake parks have created an ease of entry to the industry of wakeboarding that didn't exist before. So this is a real active, enjoyable, kind of hands-on experience that is something that any person of any age, shape, or size can enjoy. We have these large cable systems that span across a body of water and actually pull riders in lieu of the boat. So it's much easier to learn how to do it. It's much more accessible. It's significantly more affordable, and it's just a really cool way to have fun down here on the water.
Keys Cable Water Adventure Park is right off mile marker 59 in the upper Florida Keys. And after that thrill ride, you might need a nice big cold drink. And I am not talking about water now. We have the place for you. It's called the Fat Point Brewing Company. It's pretty cool. It has all the local flair and flavor of the town that it's named for. Fat Point in Spanish is Punta Gorda. Sit back for a 2.5-hour drive to Charlotte County. How did an automotive engineer become a brewmeister?
Well, I love beer. I love making beer, so I partnered with my brother-in-law, and now we're doing it all the time.
Are you the only brewery in town?
We are.
How many different kinds of flavors do you have?
Right now, we've got probably 25, 30, and every week the number keeps going up. We keep creating more stuff.
But you're drinking your own product, I'm
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Quality control.
Can you show us a little bit about the process?
Sure.
Chocolate malt. Does it taste like chocolate?
Mm-hmm. This auger takes it and dumps it into the mash tun. On the far right here, we've got our mash tun. We've got our brew kettle. And on the far left, that's our hot liquor tank. It's just hot water.
When you own the brewery, you get to put your picture on the bottle, and here's what it looks like right there. Beard. And after those 2 trips, you might need a rest, too. We have just a place where you can get pampered and treated like a king or a queen. And I don't want to forget to mention the chocolate. It's time for a trip to the spa. It's only a short trip to the O Resort and Spa in Manalapan.
The wonderful thing about O Spa is when you come in, you are greeted with champagne and cupcakes. So you won't find that many other spas in the area, because we are about wellness, but it's more about being good to yourself, being forgiving of yourself, and coming in and treating yourself for the day. And so all of our spa fairies here are here to spoil you, make sure that you have everything that you need throughout your entire journey with us. Come in early so you can spend all day with us in our self-centered garden. We have complimentary cabanas that are outside that they're able to enjoy. There's wet areas. We have swinging chairs. Sway back and forth and enjoy your afternoon. And it's gorgeous outside in the garden any time of year that you come here. Then we also have the beautiful wishing wheel. Come in, make a wish, and it has to be for anything that your heart desires. Nothing too deep, but something wonderful. And you can even give your wishes to other people if you prefer.
Trips to the O Spa make a great gift, too, so you might think about that for Mother's Day next year, or any time for that matter. After all, that's relaxation. And by the way, it's time to get our motors charged again, so we have just the right idea. You take an airplane engine and add it to a boat, and what do you get? A super fast, super smooth ride across water and land. We're going to the Peace River Charters. We're heading to Florida's west coast and DeSoto County.
But what we have here is a real Florida airboat. Okay, this is a real airboating experience. All of our trips, we run people across dry land, super shallow conditions. Most of our trips are under an inch of water. Most folks come out and they say that it's a different sensation, it's a different feeling. You know, they often relate it to gliding across the water, you know, like a flying sensation. The airboat is just in its own category there. It's totally different than any other boating experience. So.
Do these airboats get any kind of gas mileage or what?
Well, it's not about miles to the gallon, it's gallons to the mile. Let's put it like that.
And up on the land we went. You know, that airboat ride is a great way to cool off on a hot day. The breeze, once you get going, is like getting free air conditioning. And if you're looking for something for the children, we have a real treat. But don't tell the kids, it's educational, too. It's our next stop. It's full of interactive exhibits and an IMAX theater. It's called MOSI, the Museum of Science and Industry. For our next trip, we're headed to Tampa for a full afternoon of fun.
A lot of people think that we try to make learning fun. I think MOSI proves that learning is fun through science. Our mission is to make science real for people of all ages and backgrounds. We are the largest children's science center in the nation, and kids like to get in and touch and play and learn, and we have over 450 interactive science exhibits. We have a mission moon base space station where they can interact and play like they're living on the moon. We have the Florida Hospital IMAX Dome Theater, which has a variety of films playing. There is so much for everyone, for nearly every age group. I think we can accommodate someone's interest from about a 5-year-old up to about a 95-year-old. Mosey facilitates learning the best through interactivity and immersion in science. So the more people can touch stuff, feel stuff, interact with stuff, take it out of the stagnant classroom learning environment, actually see it applied, the more exciting and interesting science is.
It's serenity on the sea. Yep, downward-facing dog while standing on a paddleboard. Next on the Best of Road Trippin', finding your moment of zen in the Keys. Diving deep without getting wet at the Tampa Aquarium. And discovering rich treasures inside the Mel Fisher Museum in Sebastian. Get the 411 on all of CBS 12 Road Trippin' destinations at cbs12.com.
Welcome back. How'd you like to go on a treasure hunt? You don't even have to go far to do it or even go underwater. We guarantee that you'll find the gold, the loot when you get there. It's a short drive, but the trip will take you back centuries. The Mel Fisher Treasure Museum. It has an outstanding collection of Spanish treasure. The museum is on the sleepy town of, or in the sleepy town of Sebastian, just about an hour or two to our north.
In the museum here, you'll find all kinds of artifacts from gold, silver, anything that was 1500s, 1600s, 1700s. This is the 300th anniversary of the 1715 fleet sinking off of the Treasure Coast. Our museum here in Sebastian is about a 50-50 mix of artifacts from the 1715 fleet and also from the Atocha, which sank in 1622 off of Key West.
Can you describe a little bit about your grandfather, Mel Fisher?
Sure. My grandfather, he was a pioneer. It wasn't about finding gold or finding silver. It was about the adventure. And you know what? You might get lucky, you might not. You know, you might find something, you might not, but it's about the journey, you know, and his journey was pretty successful.
The Mel Fisher Treasure Museum in Sebastian. It's a great visit for the family or anyone interested in the history of our beautiful Treasure Coast.
It's the best of both worlds. Yoga while stand-up paddleboarding. Searching for the ultimate serenity in the lower keys. Teeing up history. Taking a swing on the oldest 18-hole golf course in the state. And an awesome family adventure. Going under the sea while staying dry inside a huge Gulf Coast aquarium.
Welcome back. Something's fishy. Of course, it's supposed to be. If you want to see some colorful sea life, we have the great place for you, the Florida Aquarium. It has sharks and rays and all kinds of marine life. For our next road trip, we're headed to the waterfront in Tampa.
Florida Aquarium, we have creatures from all over the world, things that you wouldn't expect to see in an aquarium, from fish and sharks, of course, but we also have things like lemurs and snakes, owls, hawks, things like that really make the aquarium diverse. Of course, our sand tiger sharks are huge. They're massive. They're definitely a fan favorite.
That's a black tip, isn't it?
That is a black tip shark. I know. They're actually magical to see fly through the water like that. It's one of my favorite things to see them gliding. After the sharks, a lot of the immersive experiences are what guests enjoy. You can touch stingrays and sharks. You can touch horseshoe crabs and starfish. Just coming to the aquarium is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but getting the chance to see these animals up close in their habitat is amazing. You know, we've had a lot of kids coming back and saying, you know, because of my experience here at the Florida Aquarium, I decided to become a marine biologist, or someone who is very, very focused on the conservation of our oceans because of the things that they saw and learned here at the Florida Aquarium.
Maybe you'd rather spend your time on the water. One of the fastest growing sports in the area is just a short drive away. Have you ever heard of SUP? S-U-P? It stands for stand-up paddleboarding. And it's a great way to see the water, experience the beauty, and challenge yourself all at the same time. We're headed to Hooked on SUP Paddle Sports. Buckle in for a road trip west to Englewood.
SUP, stand-up paddleboards. Pretty simple.
You've been doing this for how many years?
5 years now.
Wow, and how did you get into this?
I was on the water one day and I saw a girl float past me on a paddleboard, and I was instantly intrigued. Had to get one.
And it grew from there, huh?
It did. We started really kind of small with just a few boards and a few kayaks, and we have grown every single year. It's a huge sport. I've taught everyone from 5 to 85. That used to be my saying, but now I've actually taught someone in their 90s. So it's truly a huge customer base. We have a lot of locals and a lot of different age groups, and then we have a lot of tourists. We've got some of the best paddling water in the state of Florida. It's one of the things I love. So Cape Hayes, obviously, you can paddle right from our location right here, or we've got Stump Pass Beach State Park, or Don Pedro Island State Park, or Boca Grande.
Sure looks like fun, doesn't it? After all this driving, let's take a short trip this time. We have another hidden gem that's in our own backyard. Did you know we have a full mile of art? Northwood Village is growing up and becoming one of the area's most artistically developed. So we're headed just north of downtown West Palm Beach. I had a chance to talk with artist Craig McGinnis about these creative works. Craig, you've got a lot of artists right here in one group in the village.
Yes.
And yet you've got your mural as the leading mural, don't you?
I don't know if it's the leading mural, but it's a mural amongst some beautiful ones, and we got more on the way. That's the best part of the story.
How many do we have so far in the village?
There's 3 right now, and I just heard of a 4th one that is getting ready to pop up really soon. So yeah, beautiful color all over the place. A lot of things have been changing for the better, and the mural program is just a small example of that, because, you know, perception is reality, and color like this and vibrance on walls. This building was actually empty when I did it, and now it's inhabited by a business.
I also talked to another artist, Will Halliday, about the growth of his studio at Northwood Village and a little bit about his background.
I've always worked on cars, so I've done a lot of metalwork and fiberglass and mechanical things and fabricating mostly.
As I look around Northwood Village, I see just enormous amount of change and growth.
It's definitely coming. I mean, you can see there, the condos are going up, and a neighborhood like this attracts galleries and restaurants and things, so it's definitely happening.
And in addition to the art, there's plenty of shopping and restaurants too, and you can easily make a day of it. And just a short drive from Northwood, we have 2 of the area's best golf courses. The Breakers Ocean and Rees-Jones courses will challenge even the best of you duffers out there. But if you haven't played them, it's time to hit the links. Let's head to the Breakers. It's on the island of Palm Beach.
Here at the Breakers, we have 2 championship golf courses. One that's a little shorter, one that's a little bit longer. The ocean course, really you have to have a little more precision there. You've got the wind coming off the ocean. It is a slightly shorter course, but it goes back to the history of it. It's the oldest 18-hole course in Florida, but it is gorgeous. As you look out from the hotel, it's really like looking at a park. It's absolutely magnificently manicured top to bottom. Then you go into our Breakers West course. That one's a little bit longer. Has wider fairways. You have a little more space than you do at the ocean course, but the greens are tricky and treacherous, so pin placements there can really play havoc with your putting, but also your approach shots. I've been with the Breakers now for roughly 10 years, and in that time we've grown the academy immensely. To accommodate every level of golfer is really our goal. Coming to the Breakers, you have absolutely everything you would want. You've got golf, you've got the beach, you've got tennis. Everything is right here self-contained. I don't think you can go to many places around the world and have all of that right at your doorstep.
And you know, golf is a big part of Florida, and the Breakers is making sure to preserve that wonderful heritage too.
You have to admit it, it just looks cool. Up next, heading to the Keys, combining inner peace and outdoor beauty. It's a pit stop that's good for your mind and body. And what really drives CBS 12's Road Trippin'? Well, one heck of a vehicle. You're behind the wheel.
best of our Road Trippin' show wouldn't be complete if we didn't share some of the glory with our trusted transportation, the Road Trippin' Chevy Silverado. This show has taken us from one end of the state to the other, and we drove through rain and sandy beaches and, of course, sunshine. And to help us do that, the South Florida Chevy dealers provided us with the powerful but economical Silverado. This one has a four-wheel drive and a brawny tow package. And we, of course, gave it a little road tripping flair of our own, too. It's a comfortable drive with a powerful, efficient V8, connecting advanced technology with dependable craftsmanship. If you'd like to learn more about the Chevy Silverado, visit your nearest South Florida Chevy dealership and check them out. We're going to keep this one, though, so we can bring you more road tripping stories. And this year's Road Trippin' has been a wonderful ride in that big Chevy. So now we're going to slow down, switch gears, and we're going to go back on the water, but not the way you're used to seeing it. We're going to do some yoga. Can you do that? But on a stand-up paddleboard. It's a beautiful, therapeutic, and relaxing moment. We're going to Serenity Echo Therapy. And so we're headed south to Bahia Honda State Park in the Florida Keys. Sarah, what if you don't have any experience in yoga or paddleboarding?
That's okay. You don't need any at all. I teach you how to paddleboard, and I have the best gear. So it's really high quality boards. What happens is you meet me here, and I teach you how to stand up paddleboard first. I'm a certified stand-up paddleboard yoga instructor with the World Paddle Association. So I teach you the sport of SUP. We get out there, paddle around, practice, and then I help choose a place to drop your anchor. And we do a class, a yoga class there that I guide. It ends in a meditation, and we just relax and let go of stress and tension from the body naturally.
Isn't that cool? That's out in the Gulf of Mexico, too. It's a great place to stretch out and enjoy nature out there in the Gulf, and what a great place in the Keys, too. Well, that's it for this edition of the Best of Road Trippin' 2015. Look for us on the road in that big, beautiful Chevy, and also on CBS 12 News. We'll be traveling to more destinations soon. And remember to visit our website. It's at cbs12.com/roadtrippin'. And all these destination videos and many more are just a click away. Plus, all the information you need to plan your own road trip. I'm John Matthews. Drive safely. We'll see you on the highway. Bye for now.
Promotional consideration for the Best of Road Trippin' is provided by South Florida Chevy Dealers, Geico West Palm Beach, Charlotte Harbor Visitor and Convention Bureau, DeSoto County Economic and Tourism Development, O Palm Beach, Florida Keys and Key West Tourism Council, Northwood Village Merchants Association, Sebastian River Area Chamber of Commerce, The Breakers Palm Beach, and Visit Tampa Bay.